shoes, I always thought these things were a bit of a fad, a bit of a gimmick, something you'd see on mountaineering magazine covers or surfer dudes with bleach blonde hair. I wasn't really quite sure whether this is just a marketing ploy to get you to spend something that doesn't really work. Well, I'm here to find out whether a good quality pair of barefoot shoes will replace an average hiking boot. Is there any benefits to these, and do they really work? And I think you'll find my opinion, an honest review of these, may just surprise you. I've reviewed other barefoot shoes here on the channel before, more of a sock-based barefoot shoe, and I really enjoyed them, but I've got to say that these Magna Lites really do feel like a step up, not only in the quality, but also in the comfort. I think these look like a really cool pair of urban trainers. You're certainly not going to get laughed at walking around town in these, whereas the other ones, people would look and stare and say, is he walking around town with a pair of socks on? I genuinely think these look really, really cool. When it comes to the WR in the name of these shoes, that's water resistant. And as I said, resistant and not waterproof. I have walked through streams with these and you will get wet, so I tended to wear these with waterproof socks. The shoes have also got an insole here which is thermulated, and it's kind of got that silver look to it that you get when you go camping and hiking on that mattress. It will reflect the heat, and it will also keep the coldness, if that's even a word, the coldness when you're out in summer. It keeps your feet really cool, so you don't need to worry about your feet getting over hot and sweating. Vivobarefoot market this as a speed hiking boot, as if there was such a thing. Basically, they're super lightweight, they only weigh 324 grams. And it's for those people who don't want to feel like they've got a heavy, clunky pair of hiking boots on. You slip these on and you're off on the trail. They're so light, and that, I think, contributes a lot. Feel that you get when you're out on the terrain. You can feel everything underneath, but not to a degree where it makes it painful. There is a bit of a training phase to go through when it comes to a pair of shoes like this, because the sole is very thin. It looks very thick here, but it's not. You'll find that your feet get really sore, and mine did for the first month or so. But the more I wear them, the more I want to wear them. It's a difficult thing to explain to a lot of people unless you've worn a pair of these and you've got used to barefoot shoes. I really do like the feel now when I'm walking around. You can feel the ground underneath you, and it's almost as if your toes are gripping. But you will have to get used to that period of bedding your feet in, and I would suggest walking around in soft forests such as mulch just for a few weeks until you get your feet used to it. I used to find that the most pain I used to get was from actually commuting, because you're banging all the time on hard concrete, and I'm a heel striker, and it used to be really sore heels. So while there is an initial bedding in period, once you've got there and once you're used to shoes like this, you'll probably never want to go back to traditional hiking boots. The sole on these shoes may look really thick and grippy. It's 2.5 millimeters rubber material that's quite soft and grippy, that makes it look like it's a really chunky barefoot shoe. But believe you me, you can feel everything when you've got these on with that tiny, tiny little insole in there. The underneath of these particular barefoot shoes has got a bit of an arrow chevron shape, and that's angled so that you've got grip both up and down. And so far, I've got no complaints at all. There is a little bit of a side grip there as well for when you're going over rocks. So yeah, it's a very sticky rubber. And as I mentioned before in this video, I think these are a great looking pair of barefoot shoes. When it comes to durability, a lot of people on the internet have said that the build quality is just not that good. Well, I can't disagree more. I really have abused these shoes, and I've been everywhere in the mountains, in the Lake District, everywhere else we go where it's sharp rocks, mud, sand, grit, you name it. And I've got no problems at all. Now you could say, well, you probably haven't worn them long enough. I've got around 150, 200 miles on these boots now, and they're not showing any sign at all of wear or tear or any kind of scratches or scuffs. They might look a little bit dirty here because I have actually just been for a hike recently, but once you give them a little polish and a little clean up, there's no problems at all. So ultimately, what do I think about these Vibra barefoot shoes? Well, the first thing to talk about is they're not the cheapest. Ka-ching! No, they're not the cheapest, but I think you do get what you pay for. Now, we have reviewed other sock type shoes here on the channel, and they were literally nothing more than a sock. This feels like an urban, cool kind of adventure shoe. Looks like it's got a thick grip on it, but it hasn't. And I haven't slipped or pierced these or had any issues at all wearing these shoes. I don't think I'll ever go back to normal hiking boots. Now, the easing in process was not easy. It has taken me a while to get used to this. Sore feet was an issue after hikes over 7 or 8 miles, and I too occasionally after 10 and 12 get the same issue. But as your feet get conditioned to it, you will get used to it. I can't go back to normal boots. Vivobarefoot are also an ethical company that supports animal welfare. So if you're a vegan, these are even better. This is a company that really does support great causes such as the environment, forestry and animals. So it's another reason, if you support those, that this is another company that you might want to look into. Now, there are thousands, probably millions of reviews on these Vivobarefoot shoes, and the vast majority are positive. Just accept that it's not going to be easy when you start off, and you're probably going to hate it and go, what have I spent all that money for on a pair of shoes like this when I could just put on some hiking boots? But the freedom that you get while scrambling over rocks and mud and logs, and that feeling, that hippie feeling you get of being able to feel the ground under your foot, will eventually make you want to wear them more and more and more. I can't recommend these highly enough. People have said there was an issue with the quality. I've had nothing, and I have absolutely abused my other pair, absolutely. If you want a discount, I don't get anything from this, and it's not a paid video review. This has been absolutely honest. I love these shoes, even going to the shops in them. It's just an excuse to wear them. And I haven't had anybody saying, what are you wearing? Apart from one person who thought I had climbing shoes on, and that's because of the wide toe box. Go grab a pair. I think you'll really enjoy them. Highly recommended. Let's go.